Mitchell. Hale's full forward at the moment.
Breust.
Half wrapped up. Rioli back in the had to be a free. Rioli was grabbed. Umpire said play on. Breust and Rioli. Rioli won high. Had to get one or the other.
Got to work hard for that, Rioli.
I like it, Jared. I like it. I like the small full forward in modern football. They get out the back quicker than the big guys, and there's key defenders are let down.
And there's the goal kicking of modern footballers as well. Have to wait on it, but Rioli loves it. Crowd won't so much. Open for Rioli. Gets there on the bounce. Hill, 50 out. Couple of dance steps. Smith made it impossible for Smith. Hearn, Cripps, caught. Good tackle, Roughead. Didn't dispose of it legally, even though he had no prior opportunity.
It's good by Roughead coming up the ground as a forward and with some intensity as well.
Sean Burgoyne goal square, Jono. He wants the one-on-one.
And he goes to the pass option instead, and it works. Breust.
That's the difference, Jared. That's the seventh.
Wasteful in front of goal last week. Arguably cost them the game. These have got to go through when you're away from home.
He was the #1 player in the competition last year for percentages of balls that went to him that ended up in scores. He was a key go-to man last year. He might be again today.
Well, it wasn't his perfect connection, but he got the job done, and the Hawks regained the lead.
Shields caught, little fumble, manufactured a handball. Breust, Shields, a wobbler. Franklin forward in a one-on-one. Feeds back, this should be a goal. Should bounce, runs in, easy as you like for Lance Franklin.
Well, it's brilliant work by Franklin exposing behind, but you've got to give full credit to Luke Breust. It was just a savage attack on the ball. This is the contest that creates the goal. In comes Shuey Breust right there, gets it and then whips it out, and away it goes.
That's why I'm all for the player who kicks a goal not to come straight off the ground, because he's up and about, and as you can see there, Breust was involved again.
If that's the case, or a real setback for the coaching staff, given that he's the man in charge of Buddy Franklin at the moment.
Hale, after it went through Cox's legs, gave it to Lewis to the back. Roughead, open goal ahead of him. Just needs to be precise. Cool. Super cool.
He did get some help there, Jared, but the separation that he was able to, the best work I've seen from Big Dean Cox before, but you see there, good shepherd, and then the separation was excellent from Roughead. Goals in his sights, and a great finish.
Yeah, it's a nice bit of work from Sean Burgoyne, but also Roughead. It's the first time we've seen Roughead take hold of a game. Who's one of their key link players. He's just touched the ball once.
There he is twice. Gave it to Breust though. Masten caught. Puopolo through some traffic. Scott Silwood gives it back to Shields, so he gets another floater. Hale attacks it hard. Franklin takes off. Thinks about the goals. That's all he wanted. That is top shelf. Lance Franklin at his best.
Isn't going to get any credit for this, but it was his pressure involved in the preceding contest that set the ball up, and he's a little bit unskilled, we know that. He mucked one up earlier in the piece, but he has created it, albeit on the back of one of the most gifted blokes on the ground.
There's only one result here. That was a shot at goal, and an excellent one.
Somehow, can't hear. Sewell off hands. Hale standing forward. Breust was there. Shields in the end gets it. Breaks free. Flicked it to Burgoyne. Couldn't break free. Rioli. This is quality street from Hawthorn right now.
And then just put pressure from Breust. And Shields is also getting involved. They are just getting the ball forward a number of times, and they've got those quality street players, as you said, Dwayne, on the back of it. And another goal to one of the brilliant players.
Birchall, he is an elite kick, and Buddy was trying to read it and did get some separation from his direct opponent.
Yeah, he reminded me of a bloke who used to play for the Kangaroos off that half-back line.
Burgoyne reminds me of him as well, kicking a goal from 30 straight out.
Well, inside forward 50, talking about this is just too easy.
It is, and it's a real concern. We've talked about the rucks, the issue they've got at the moment with Nick Nat not there, and I think it's impacting on Dean Cox's ability around the grounds to stay strong, to stay agile. He looks like he's labouring to me. It is having an impact.
Franklin doing some roving. Bailey didn't know he was going to give it to him and probably shouldn't have. Gave it straight back and said, what are you doing, Lance? Rolls it inside 50. It's set up again. Smith sold the dummy and drills it. 39 points.
Yeah, it's a good old present time, and the combination of Roughead and Franklin is really working for mine at the present time, Jono.
Well, once the ball hit the tag, Isaac Smith, his eyes would have lit up because he was on Dean Cox. He had Stratton running past, had the 2-on-1 happening, and
go at it. Priddis, sidestep, and the delivery. Darling and Hill both there, and the buck in the middle of it. Hodge, amazing.
Yeah, and the options are open up straight down the middle.
Schoenmakers, Birchall,
1-on-1.
Smith, he knows he's got the overlap, and it is on, well and truly on. Breust, can he hit a target? Rioli. He had two that he could.
The kicking skills and ball transition came to the fore.
Keeps it low. Goal umpire does not move, and it's a 9-goal-2 start for Hawthorn.
Well, Rioli
Off the chair as well. Flicked down perfect from Bailey. Burgoyne. Hale forward. Knocked away Waters. Puopolo. And working hard from the outset. Scoops it up. Takes off. Breust. Kickable by his standards. Burns off Butler, and that's against the flow.
Puopolo.
To silence.
They bring the ball to ground. Look at Puopolo. Look at this effort. He just will not give up. Breaks a tackle from Waters. Gets the ball. Gets on his feet. Sets it up.
Look at this here. That's class from Bailey.
That's the rule. Had no ruckman there. Then Cox couldn't get near it.
Oh, and opened up again.
Lewis to Smith. He's got Roughead as the runner. Schofield with him. Roughead. Schofield. Roughead.
Great grab.
Schofield turned his back, and from that moment.
That time just able to sneak out the back after the free kick was paid. And a good delivery again inside 50.
And sends a hush around Patersons Stadium again with another. He's got two. Sewell almost the clearance. Back to Bailey, who's performed well as well. Inside 50 to Rioli. Slapped away. Smith with the speed. Just ran too fast. Rioli again. Already kicked one from here earlier. He's got four.
What a start, Jared, before the start of this third quarter. And it was the break there, but it's Cyril Rioli. It's the speed around the contest. Smith involved the game. We spoke about him in the second quarter with his speed through the middle of the ground and his ball use. But it's attacking the contest, attacking the front of the contest by the small players from Hawthorn, and they're getting a result, and Cyril's capitalised.
What about the gather and go? Left it behind. Shields, Birchall, Mitchell. All the usual suspects playing well for Hawthorn. Franklin inside 50, dragged down, too high. Roughead played on to disadvantage, and luckily
on the right side, on his right foot as well.
Which is his wrong side.
Which is his wrong side.
From directly out for goal number 3. And the two big stars are aligning for Hawthorn.
Well, that was as straight as I've seen Buddy run, and it just came off the boot magnificently. He spoke about it, and Buddy helps him drag him down. But there it is, the famous approach from Buddy Franklin. 2 centre bounces. Ball yet to go forward of the centre for the West.
Jared, halfway through the third term. If they're going to win this game, it's impact required from the sub from now.
Franklin spears it, hoping for Sewell. Trap and the give. Birchall can steady on the left. Lines them up. It'll come back. Perfection.
As a key player for the Hawks and somebody that needs to be stopped. I've loved this bloke's game. Sewell has been on fire, lays it off, and this is a great strike from on the 50. Works it from right to left, but it was Sewell who set it up just nicely. And gee, this is a critical time now for the West Coast Eagles. First down the middle.
Take your hat off to the Hawks. They're hanging in here right now. Schofield played on. That's got to be ball.
I think he was disoriented as well then. I think he was trying to go back behind the mark to go the other way. I can't see why he would try and play on in that situation.
Hawthorn trying to hold this 3-goal advantage to three-quarter time. Another floater from Hodge. Clean bowls a couple. The chaos ball will work. Back of the pack, Hill. You can't plan for that.
It must have gone through 5 or 6 pairs of players, and no one laid hand on it. And Brad Hill out the back.
Hawthorn showing some poise.
They're going to spade the pace, trying to expose glass. Smith now at full forward.
Hodge to Lewis, who can go to Birchall. Already kicked one from 50. And he drives it home. Simply superb.
Was involved out the back to start that whole passage of play. Then just creeps forward. Doesn't do anything with intensity until he knows it's time to go. And then breaks inside forward 50, and that's the type of finish we're used to from Grant Birchall.
And flawless again. Just immense poise there under some pressure. And delivers to the target. Hale can line up from 50.
He just kicked the open grass then.
No, he didn't.
Schoenmakers.
He kicked beautifully. As we've told you a few times, coming off a 6-day break. West Coast coming off a 15-day break from round 1. Hawks are cramping up in the 3rd. They've had a rest. They've come out firing again early in the 4th. And David Hale kicks one that could be priceless. Wise, savage. And Roughead can get and go. There's no one ahead of him. Thinks about it. Hill now feeding on. Waters is with him. He didn't want the Hill Waters one-on-one, strangely. He wants Hale working hard on Sinclair. Got it. Too good for the youngster there.
And for mine, it's Buddy Franklin. He's the chaos player. There's the chaos ball you've described, Wayne, but Buddy comes up a win for the Hawks.
This will be 5 times the Hawks have burst the game away from the West Coast. Have they got a punch left, the West Coast Eagles?
Big quarter.
Hawks get a break. Smith, Schoenmakers, Smith, a bomb. Breust.
Well, Breust was brilliant there. He was the only one of the 2 that kept his eye on the ball. This is bread and butter for him generally.
And again, silence over Patersons Stadium. And that's a bomb from 50. It's got the carry. And the Hawks can smell their first win of the season. Just 10 minutes away.
Well, Key said it a brave effort.
Some traffic. Burn. Ball. Umpire said he had time enough to get rid of it. Free kick Hawthorn.
Hasn't been a huge factor in the game, Shannon Hearn, and they haven't been able to break him free with 10 kicks on 1 handball. Bo Waters been marginally better at 15. That's not a bad return off the half-back line. At 87% effective.
50-metre penalty, and this will be the sealer. That's heartbreaking. And there's the killer blow. The Hawks will win their first game of 2013, and the West Coast Eagles will start 0-2.
Bradley Hill last week, his first quarter.
Everything they've had. Rioli has been their star. It's an easy one there.
Well, you look at the impacts across half-back. You mentioned Hodge, he's up to 24. Birchall, 27.
Yep.
The keys for West Coast in that end of the ground.
Franklin held.
As Franklin gets a free kick. Waters with 15.
And 50.
Hearn with 11.
So 2 50s in the last minute. Disastrous, really. 3. And top 4 becomes out of the question. Franklin nails the goal to the Blues. David King spoke about it pre-game, how important top 4 and top 2 is for the West Coast chances.
Yes, he was very strong on the fact that if you're a travelling side like the West Coast, you've got to finish in the top 2.
Or does he play one more at waffle level?
That's a good question to ask. You'd expect that they'd have a team that's measured.
Rioli stepped through them arrogantly. Lewis to Breust.
And next Tuesday, a very excited young man, hopefully playing about round 8 or 9, Jerry.
Well, he's been sadly missed. He plays that forward defensive role. I know a few players will be looking over their shoulder, but Puopolo's played that role magnificently today.
Margin 50 points now, the biggest margin of the game. At the MCG, where they met last year as one of their 2 clashes. Anderson, and he pumps it in the Franklin direction. Wants to run back into space. It sits for him, strolls in, and puts the big full stop on it. He's got 5, and it's a 56-point blowout.
This is impressive the way they have, Jerry. It just shows the work they were able to put in over the summer to respond to situations like they've been put through over the last 2 weeks of footy.
Doesn't it also show that perhaps the focus that we place on breaks in a one-off scenario is overdone? I reckon if you have 3 6-day breaks in a row, there is an accumulation factor.
Top 4 and West Coast not. A lot of footy still to be played, but the West Coast Eagles have been left in the starting gates for 2013. It'll be an enjoyable flight home for Hawthorn. They've shown yet again they're amongst the best of the best for 2013. Away from home, against the odds, too good. And a 50-point margin for Alistair Clarkson and his men is about right. They've dominated this game from the outset and led by a massive 28 points with a 6-goal-to-1 opening term. 28 points the margin at quarter time. They opened it up to 39 a few times. West Coast Eagles showed some fight backs and did threaten at one stage to get it back to a 2-goal.